Hi everyone, this is Trish Kendall, your host for the Choose and Become interview series. People around the world ask me to share more of my journey to enduring success, more stories, more of my lessons, more of my experiences. There's only so much I can share during an inspirational speech or while facilitating a workshop or even through blogs. So here you go. In these Trish Kendall Speaks episodes, I give you short, impromptu, candid, raw me. Come along with me as I continue my journey to enduring success. Kendall with Choose and Become with the Trish Kendall Speaks episode. I'm going to pick up where I left off, sharing some of my journey that I took with Dr. Anne-Marie Madigan with all of you. So when I started seeing Dr. Madigan, the motivator to seeing her was centered around trying to help Lily, my 7-year-old daughter, work through some of her friend issues as her in elementary school. And what it quickly transformed to in the first session with Dr. Madigan is her observing and sharing with me that I still had a lot of work to do on myself, and that I didn't know what normal was. I never had a normal childhood. I didn't know what a normal childhood is. And so Dr. Madigan and I shifted gears very quickly to focus on me as, at that point in time, I was 42. Me as a 42-year-old mother, married woman and mother of two, a 7-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. And at that moment in time, that Trish was a very different person in a very different environment than 10 years earlier when I saw a therapist. And there's a journey around that. And it was very important. Jenny Grimes, Dr. Grimes. And she was incredibly important to me. But that was single Trish. Oh, it was like more than 10 years because I didn't even know Joe when I was seeing her. So different point of time, different journey that I was going on at that moment. And even though I shared with Dr. Grimes, with Jenny Grimes, she knew about my dad. We got into those things. It was under the context of me as a single woman and not a mom. So you can see, and anybody that has seen a therapist through their lives, I think most people hopefully can relate to that there's perhaps a different therapist with a different focus at different points in your life. But I believe the criticality of therapy is critical. The criticality of therapy, whatever. So as I was with Dr. Madigan, I was a wife, a mom of 2, and most importantly, a mom of a 7-year-old daughter. And what I didn't realize is the force of the memories that were to come to the front of my mind and my heart as I was watching Lily grow and remembering and feeling, sometimes subconsciously, the little 7-8-year-old girl that I was. And so Dr. Madigan and I worked a ton together, and I have lots of stories to share and things that she and I uncovered together and explored together. But one that I'll share today is about 3 years after seeing Dr. Madigan, when I decided to double down on my mission to inspire young women, which is transformed to inspiring young leaders of all genders. I went to Dr. Madigan and she helped me and then helped Joe and I think through what story would I tell? What story would I tell and how would I tell that story? And of course, I anchored on the message, and my message was that creating enduring success happens when we choose to embrace our boundless capacity to give love and to receive love. I anchored and honed in on that message through a lot of my conversations with Dr. Madigan. And because I was going through my own journey of figuring out, what is success and why do I feel like I'm the most successful person in the world? And so that was it. But then the question became, what am I willing to share out into the world? And how then do I share that? And what am I willing to share when I have an 11-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son? And so Dr. Madigan helped us along the way. And one of the things that she helped me do is, well, she said, Lily and Sam will learn of your journey and your experience. We'll learn of your childhood just based on what you want to share with them. And then, of course, anything that you put out into the world is always, Lily could find it one day. So I always have that in the back of my mind. But what Dr. Madigan said is you should sprinkle throughout their lives, sprinkle in some of your childhood in an appropriate, age appropriate, and emotionally appropriate way. So the example that she gave at the time when I would be in town in Canton, my favorite thing to do was to drive them to school, to drive them. Basically, it took 40 minutes with traffic, and to drive them to Thatcher Montessori School. And I actually wrote a blog about it quite a number of years ago. It was my favorite time of the day, being in this congested traffic with cars honking. But it was my time with Lily and Sam as we listened to Winnie the Pooh on Audible, or we read they read books, or we sang songs. And my joy in that drive was because I was driving them from our home and the same route every day to their school, and then pick them up and this from their school, the same route to our home. And that consistency and normalcy of we live in the same home, they go to the same school. There's no change in that. They know that. It is certain. They know mom and dad are there. They know this is their school and their teachers. They know this is their neighborhood and their friends. They know this is their church, add that to the mix. In contrast, for me, my dad moved us, basically uprooted us. God, by the time I graduated high school, I had gone to 12 different schools. 12 different schools by the time I had graduated high school. So we moved around town to town, school to school. So what Dr. Madigan's point is sprinkle in, like as I'm driving to school, oh, Lily and Sam. You know why it makes me so happy and so joyful, so full of joy to drive you to school? I never went to the same school. We moved around so much that I didn't get to stay with the same teachers, and I didn't live in the same house, and I didn't have the same friends. And so it makes me so happy that you both can have that. And so like peppering and sprinkling in things like that. So Joe and I have done that, and I've done that through the years. And with Lily, it's become more deliberate and more impactful with some of the things that I've shared with her. She doesn't know everything. She still doesn't know everything. Even with a TEDx talk out there, she doesn't know everything, nor does she need to know. So Dr. Madigan helped us with this sprinkling of stories, because she very much believed that you don't want to be like, oh, my mom's life was just grand and exactly the way that our life is, to boom, oh no, pooh, I'm 16 years old now, and I realize that my mom, her childhood was this, this, and this. So Joe and I have done that in our planning with Dr. Madigan through the years, and before I started professionally speaking. And now, I speak internationally and everywhere, and on stages and these videos and YouTube channel and TEDx talks and workshops. And Lily's, her parents know, her teachers know, they've been along this journey. Some have been to my speeches. Everyone's obviously experienced the TEDx talk. So, but this all started from Dr. Madigan helping us through this journey. And when I delivered my first inspirational speech, which was March 14th, 2018, because it was a year before the pandemic. So do I have that right? March 14th, 2018? Would that be right? Did things close up March 19th? Jenny, you would know this because you and I were together in San Diego when we both came home, and then the day after everything closed down. So a year before the pandemic hit. And I delivered my first inspirational speech for an association, the American Association of University Women. And it was at the Canton Library. And Jenny was there. And Joe was there. And his parents were there. And it's the first time that I shared with my neighborhood, all my friends, all my community. It's the first time that I shared me, really shared me. Nobody knew the journey that I had been on. And Dr. Madigan, of course, was there. And she was there. And she was sitting right next to Jenny up there in the front with June. Remember Jenny? She was sitting with June and Maddie. And I just love her so much. I have lots of Dr. Madigan stories that I can share if I just get myself motivated to share them. She was an incredibly important person to me and to Joe and to Lily and to Sam, even though Sam doesn't know it yet. And although it's been a number of years since I've been able to share my everyday life with her, I'm grateful that I have the memory of her, and I am better. I'm a better woman and a better mom and a better speaker and a better all of that because of Dr. Madigan. And I wish that I could just have a cup of tea with her and tell her thank you. I'm glad I texted her. It was probably like last month because it was after the TEDx talk. And I had said a number of times that I wanted to get together with her to have tea. And, you know, she would respond via text, but we never made plans. And now I understand why. And I still have my text messages from her from last month. I hope you guys don't think this is morbid. I don't think it's morbid. And, you know, I'm telling her, I sent her my TEDx talk. And I said, Dr. Madigan, you are on my mind and in my heart so often. I want to share with you all the updates. But for now, thank you for supporting me and loving me on my journey. My first TEDx talk just released. And then I sent it to her. And then, of course, she gives the hearts. And she says, that TED Talk is fabulous. I'm so happy to have supported you on your journey. And then I go on to tell her about the kids and all that. And especially because her kids went to Thayer Academy. And that's the school that Sam goes to now. And of course, she knows Lily and all her writing and everything. And so when I told her that Lily got accepted into Dana Hall and it's at Dana Hall. And so thanks for being along this journey with me. Choose and become.